Oh shit, you should.
Recording start?
Yeah. Welcome to Warrior Class,
where the teachers whip ass.
And you will too if you pass.
Now I told you I wasn't going to name the number of episodes, but we're rolling. We're in the double digits now. And today's episode is Knife to Meet You, aka A Cut Above. Right?
Nice.
So you can hear it, Knife to meet you. We're gonna be.
Your pen is wicked, Baba.
Hey, there we go, bars. So we're gonna be using the knife today. Different types of knives. We're gonna talk about the knife. We're gonna use the knife, and the meet you part is we're gonna be actually showing how knife affects flesh using meat. So that's a trigger warning for you. You know, cutting meat is too much for you. You know, then it may be too much. If you eat meat, you ought to be ashamed of yourself.
Right.
Cutting is too much. And
you want to be able to defend yourself.
You want to be able to defend yourself.
Right.
Then believe me, you cut somebody and then their flesh opens and you sitting there shocked. Well, that could leave you open to getting your flesh open. So we don't want to freak out when we see it. So today you're going to see what the cuts do. We call that a respect exercise because you will gain respect for this tool and hopefully respect for human life. So it's not something to be played with because it is very resilient, but it can end quickly if a person knows what they're doing. They're trying to end their life and you don't know how to protect yours. Okay.
No problem.
So any news we got today? We'll start with the news first.
One of the alarming things that's not being talked about in the news or getting a proper Amber Alert is the number of Black children missing in Akron, how do you say it?
Akron.
Yeah.
Akron, Ohio.
And Akron, Ohio, and around that surrounding area. And it's been, from what I was just looking at, it's like over 15 kids within 10 days apart, and it's from the same city, and that's not like national news. Nobody's saying anything about that.
I wonder why.
Right, and these are children, I think, from ages 13 to like 18. So that's definitely my child age range. So go back, if you haven't seen it, go back to our past Warrior Class because we talked about child trafficking and things of that aspect, what you can do as a child, what you can teach a child to do in those situations. And we'll be talking more about situational awareness. And there's also the book, How to Deal with Bullies, and we have that one. And there's also, I think you deal with child trafficking on one of your other books.
Choreo.
Exactly.
The book Choreo deals with how to be safe from child trafficking, how to keep your children safe, drills to teach them. I think there's 30 drills I put in there on how to train them, how to get home in case they are lost from home, what to do if someone tries to take them, things of that nature. So there are drills that you can work on with your child.
This is the season for that. I know it's happening all around, all year round, but certain times of the year things are happening. If you ever been a street person or whatever, or on the other side, you know that's true. So this is a serious time when school starts and kids are traveling and being dropped off and picked up and things of that nature. You got games going on. The beginning of that. This is the time where a lot of older kids come up missing. This is the time right now. This, and then as we get later on, we're gonna get into robbing season because you get from September to October to November. You get into robbing, then you get into kickdo season as we get further down. So know what season you in, be mindful and aware of what's happening.
And know anything can happen during any season.
The first thing I say, it can happen anytime, but sometimes there's optimal times that you should be paying attention to, even though you always should be aware and ready for whatever. So So that's pretty much it for that. Yeah, it's the biggest thing going on right now. Besides Drake and Kanye, I mean, you know, we talk about warriorhood. You know, they just both dropped. So war going on out there musically.
It is. Definitely. And Dre got caught in the middle.
And Andre like, yo, I just wanted to do music. I didn't know he was going to be doing all this foolishness. Yeah, I'm staying. Yeah. That's what's going on in the music wise. If you heard, which one do you like? Let us know. Do you like the Drake or the Kanye? Do you like the Drake? Do you like the Kanye? How do you feel about it? Anyway. Oh, well, movies too. We didn't get your movies. A lot of you, I don't know if you've seen the last episode. Go back and check it out. We want to know your movie picks. You might have martial arts movie picks. I want your romance. Give me your martial arts. So we know we might want to, you know, some we want to go check out. I'm always looking for a good movie to check out.
Definitely.
Okay. All right. So, the knife. The importance of the knife. Okay. One, the knife is ubiquitous. I mean, it's everywhere, right? So you can find a knife in your kitchen, more than likely. Okay. I've even found knives out on the street before.
For real.
So they're everywhere. And it's the type of tool that you need very little training to use because it will just touching it will damage you, okay? Or it'll damage a person trying to harm you. So that's what makes it also very valuable, and if you're trained with it, even more so. But there's a thing called the 21-foot rule, because everybody talks about the pistol, the revolver, more pistol than watching TV. And, you know, they think it's the Wild West, and you have a pistol, that just solved it. People always say,
shoot them.
Yeah, just shoot them. Anything you just don't know what the hell you're talking about. Person tells you just anything, they don't know what the hell they're talking about.
As kids, they always a person to get you into. Man, just go over there and jump the fist out and steal that and bring it on back over here.
Exactly. You don't trust just, right? So, in the 21-foot rule, it says if a person's attacking you, they have a knife, they come at you with a knife, they will hit you with fatal shots from that knife before you're able to draw that pistol and hit them with fatal shots. And we have tested it. There are many people who have. It's all over the internet. If you look up the 21-foot rule on YouTube, you'll see it. And we've tested it. We've also tested, okay, if a person has a knife, when can I get my knife out? You have about 15 feet with the knife.
Yeah, that's what we try.
15 feet. So you can't just walk around with a knife out, walking down the street, or a gun out like that, right? So just know that's why these are important too. So you know how to deal with them, get them off. Then you deploy your tool and use it. Okay. But even in that, if I deploy my knife, it's ready to go. If I push you back and I'm trying to deploy my pistol and you have a knife, you still have the advantage. So don't think just because you have a pistol, it just beats everything. Even now, people have pistols called self-defense. It is not really. That's a legal term. So you know, self-defense. I had to kill that person in self-defense. And rarely does that even work. The self-defense plea in court.
It works for some people, yeah.
I know a person who, you know, if he's watching, you know, I'm not gonna name you, from another country. Not I can go over a lot of my student opinion, just so you know, so you're not thinking, oh, it's just
exactly who I thought was talking about.
So from another country, he's at home. Friend of mine, no close friend.
He's at home in America.
He's at home. No, he's at home where he's at in bed with his wife. And 7 dudes came in to kill him.
Wow.
With knives. Because in their country, guns aren't easily accessible where he's from. They come to stab him. When one tries to stab him, he disarms him. Because he's trained.
That's impressive.
And he stabs that dude, kills him. Calls the other ones run off. Because he's, you know, they run off. He calls the police. He goes to prison. Because the people came to kill him were white. He's black. He black, 6'6", real muscular, so he looks like the intimidating monster that they wanted, And so he goes to jail. But luckily in his country, and it was a killing, it wasn't a murder, there's a difference. You murder somebody, that's the innocent. You kill somebody, that's they're not innocent. So if I'm at war with somebody or I'm fighting, they're not innocent. I killed them.
You're not murdering people.
But if I go and just kill somebody next door just on GP, that's murder. Okay. So he killed this person. And in their country, you can get bail, but it's rather high. But he has rather a lot of money.
Rather a lot.
So he was able to get it. Luckily, he was able to get out. And as soon as he got out, he left and went to another country. And that's all I'll say on that. We don't get justice like that anyway. So don't rely on a self-defense plea, but defend yourself. And we don't really say defend yourself, protect yourself, right? Even in self-defense, that means after you attack me, I defend myself. You can say, I'm about to bust your head. And I wait. I'm sitting there waiting. He hasn't busted my head. He ain't swung on me yet. Then he swings. Then I defend. That is nuts. Person says, I'm about to bust your head. Well, boom, boom, boom. I go to work on him right there. I'm not waiting.
Because he already made his move. That was his move right there.
Tell exactly. He's going to do something. I'm going to bust your head. Well, you don't wait for it. And he gave you no conditions. So it's not an intimidation. It's a threat. Right. If I give you, I'm going to bust your head if you don't shut up. I really just want you to shut up. So you can control that situation by shutting up. Right? You're in control. But if I say, I'm going to bust your head, there's no condition. I'm going to bust your head. Well, you better get to work on defending yourself. Okay? And not even depend on protecting yourself. Because don't wait for him to try to bust your head. Bust his doggone head. Because he told you he's going to bust your head. Okay?
Threatened you. I was gonna add too. I'm sure that you're gonna get to this, Baba, but that 15-foot rule only applies, mind you, if your knife is in an accessible place. So if you have it clipped to your side or in a place that you always wear it. So it doesn't apply if it's in your purse and you gotta dig through there and look for it. It doesn't apply if it's in your pocket and you gotta try to find it. So that's another thing.
Unless it's a phone knife in your pocket.
Right, but not clipped in your pocket. Yeah. So that's another thing.
Because it doesn't apply if you don't practice deployment. It don't apply to you because you ain't gonna you're gonna take 15, 20 minutes to try to put this knife apply to you. Right. So
I watch people even with a folding knife. It'll be in their pocket and they're looking down. I say, oh no, they're not ready.
I think
they're taking it out and then they with two hands, they pulling it.
I think all the older dudes I grew up with that always had a pocket knife, but I guarantee you they never ever practiced pulling that thing out, opening it up, and having it ready to go.
And that's deployment. So pulling it out, that's not deployment. It even being pulling it out and it's just down in my side, that's not deployed. Pulling it out and it's ready to work, that's deployment. Okay. We're going to talk about. So that's the importance of knives is to have one, also to equalize. So if you are dealing with somebody that's 250 pounds and he said, I'm going to bust your head, you already know you got to defend yourself, but protect yourself, right?
Both.
So, right. So if you're going to move, well, hopefully not both. Hopefully you protect yourself, defend yourself. I mean, you got to act. Hopefully you take him out of here before he gets to act, right? So you got to protect yourself. He told you you're going to bust your head. Be like, damn, this dude, 300 pounds. Muscular, he 0.5% body fat. Like he was in the Schwarzenegger film back in the 80s when they were popular. Wow. But he ain't got all sloppy like Schwarzenegger. He's still,
I ain't scared.
Yeah, basically, belay, he's wearing this to bring down his muscles. He don't want to show, to intimidate you too much. Now, those intimidation got conditions. If you really have big muscles. So you got to protect yourself. This is an equalizer. Because even if this was in the hand of this little kitchen knife, you walk into the kitchen and your little 3-year-old nephew or niece got this in their hand, that's going to be intimidating. You got to think of how you're going to. Hey, put the knife. You negotiating with the 3-year-old. You don't just say, well, give me that knife. Because you may get cut, right? So you, hey, put the knife down. I need some candy. You're going to negotiate. And if they say, yeah, okay, I B.
Two pieces of candy.
Put in there, 2 pieces, right. that one ain't enough. I need 2 pieces. I got a little girlfriend, boyfriend, and they gonna want some candy back. 3, because I want 2 pieces. I'm gonna tell them I got 2 pieces. I'm gonna get them 1. So I need 3 pieces, so I keep 2 for myself. You understand?
Wow, that's a 3-year-old.
And you be like, damn, okay, there you go. How much more you got in there? Well, I really got to up the bag, player. That's, most of the 3-year-olds I know, that's how they act now. West Side Chicago ain't that bad. West Side Chicago, my 5-year-old granddaughter just told me, let you go, they ain't that bad. She came upstairs yesterday before we left. I was in Chicago for my mother's birthday, right? Her 90th. She comes and she says, the bread asked, would you like a sandwich? Not my daughter. The bread asked, would you like a sandwich? I said, the bread wants to know? She said, yes, it wants to know if you'd like to eat something. I said, well, let the bread know. Yeah, I appreciate that. And, I said, the bread knows I'm a vegan, right? He said, yeah, we brought vegan stuff for you. The bread told us to get the vegan stuff. So we got the vegan stuff for you. But for her, that's fun, talking about the bread did it, right? And so we went through the whole thing, the bread. She ain't doing like that 3-year-old that's up that candy. That probably was me at 3, up the candy. So, how intimidating this can be when a 3-year-old, even though you may not fully know how dangerous this is, it's dangerous. Right. Because damn, right? You ain't gonna just grab it from somebody. When I watch disarms, I hate disarms. Those disarms, several, hate them. And our disarms are more realistic and efficient, right? But when I see people disarm and they taking a knife, I saw one, they doing the drill, they take the knife from the other person by the blade, then they work, and then the other takes the knife from them by the blade. That is ridiculous. You say, well, you ain't just cut yourself? Yeah, because I'm taking it from myself. I'm not gonna try to take it by the blade from nobody else.
How many times have you cut yourself in the kitchen with a knife?
And
they have nobody on you with action and aggression.
And whoo, that was bad.
You just try to cut a cucumber, you can't even do it.
So we know the importance of a knife, how dangerous it can be, how valuable it is, and you take that knife and you bring it with that 350-pound dude. You slow him down for wanting to attack you, and if he attacks you, you open him up like a can of doggone sardines, okay? So that's an equalizer for you. For me, at my age, I may have to use a knife to protect myself. I'm an older man. No, I'm not young and spry. And yes, I want to cut this cat. I don't feel like fighting. Messing up. You may have pretty hands. My hands got several knife things from real life, knife cuts, but they're very small. I'm proud of that I didn't just get ripped up, right? Don't try this at home, folks. You know what I mean? But just know that shit. You may not just feel like fighting, or if it's 2 mugs, or that person looks like they too spry. I get ready to deal with somebody and they doing kung fu kicks in the air and jive. And my students say, well, you can handle them. Yeah, sure can, because I'm going to stick it up.
As soon as they stick that leg out.
Right, as soon as you stick that leg, that femoral artery going to be leaking. Okay? Just so you know. And don't try to kick a blade out of somebody's hand. Because if you do, that femoral artery's right there. It just, all they need to touch you a little bit.
That's memory.
Last memory.
Right.
We didn't get a chance to talk about that, but do not. We did have. Did we get cut off when we was talking about that?
No, we Ice Cold Carter interrupted.
Okay, yeah, we put that to the test. We've had an expert, you know what I'm saying, and throw some very nice, fast, swift, some of the most powerful, fastest kicks I ever seen. But they're not fast enough in my hand to just turn that way, to just turn directions. That's all you're doing. You're just waving this. Right. I don't know nobody foot faster than this little
Especially the foot is moving toward you. So even if
Yeah,
it's fat, they're helping you.
Yeah, I'm just going to just wherever you.
And they're going to kick that, and it's going to go in deep. Femoral arteries. Ooh.
Also, what we're about to go into is the reason why you don't want to try to kick a knife. One of the reasons, because if you hold in the knife properly, it's going to take a whole. It basically takes prying out of.
Right.
It's the only way you're going to let it go.
Now, just so you know, there's a hierarchy of using a knife. Okay. When you use a knife, the first level, the highest level, okay, is systemic, not systemic, is structural. So if I'm attacking a person's structure, their arms or legs, that's what I want to deal with. Mainly the arms, because the arms is their delivery system most of the time. If a person's trying to punch me, choke me, stab me, or cut me, use a baseball bat, billy club, whatever it may be, that's their delivery system. So you want to take out their delivery system first. Usually, no matter what you're using, empty hands, some other tool, but with a knife specifically, you want to, because you want to kill the delivery system so they can't keep trying to attack you, right? So that's number one. With a knife, you attack the delivery system. The structural damage first. Arms, hands, legs, okay, feet. That's structural. And you say, well, what about why the feet? Because if you eliminate the feet, they can't come at you. Okay, so structural damage, number one. Number two is vascular damage. That's arteries and veins. Because if they're bleeding out, they're getting weaker, and they're more concerned with bleeding out usually than attacking you. Once blood is spraying out of an artery, every time the heart beats, blood sprays out of an artery. If it's in your femoral artery, which is very large, the femoral arteries are so large they're used for bypass surgery for the heart, to replace the heart valves. That they're very large. If you've ever seen the heart valves in the picture, whatever. So the femoral artery, when that's cut, you're losing a lot of blood. Okay. You will probably bleed out if your femoral artery is cut in less than a minute. Okay. If your carotid artery is cut, you may have about a minute and a half, 2 minutes before you pass out, and then you end up bleeding out. Okay. There's an artery right over the liver. There's several arteries. There's an artery right where your thumb is. And we're doing structural damage. You're attacking the arm. You can do structural and vascular at the same time. Okay. So it's structural, number one. That's what you want to attack. Then vascular, usually carotid artery, throat slit. If your throat is slit, that's a vein. That's your jugular vein. That pours out. Carotid artery sprays out. Okay. Either one of them bad. This you can stick your finger in and stop that. Once this is spraying, you can't stick your finger in and stop that. Okay. You have to have what's called a blood gas procedure for them to close that off. I've had 2 blood gas procedures, and you have a whole team of folks working. When I had the one on my arm, and I won't go into why I had blood gas procedures, but why they had to close off my arteries. But and no, nobody cut my arteries. So this was a team of special forces operatives had to close this off. Doctors were just too nervous.
Yeah.
But special forces medics, they deal with combat situations, so they weren't nervous about doing it. They got it done. All right. So a knife there, you out in the street, and you're not gonna have a team of special forces medics there to seal that off, and your opponent's not either. Okay, just know that. Now,
no tourniquets.
So that's structural, vascular. Third is systemic, stabs to the gut, things of that nature. Why is that the lowest? Because that you can drive to the hospital with stab to the gut.
I stab to the gut every 2 weeks, man.
Damn, you just real hardcore.
Stop.
So a stab to the gut, you can drive to the hospital. You
can still defend yourself.
You can still defend yourself, yes. Now, a stab to the gut, your intestines will pop out of there. So you can close that off and then go to work. I know that sounds gross, but you don't want your intestines just laying out, coming out your body. So
now this is something that we talk now. Systemic could be optimal. Say you got 3-4 men coming towards you. The first one in your face, and you got 3 other dudes behind him. Well, now if you cut him in the gut and his intestines fall out,
coming out,
you might send a good message to the rest of them to get away from you.
Right? Yeah, probably.
In that instant, maybe systemic damage.
Or a lot of times when you're dealing, say if you're dealing in a situation where it's multiple opponents, right? You're cutting through. A lot of people think they're just getting punched, so they'll keep coming.
Right. You want them to know
because you don't know what to act. So you want them right. If you want them to know, you open up. You cut them across the belly, or even if you stab them in the belly, that this is like an inner tube. And so once you hit the body, the air comes out,
pressurized,
and so it's pressurized, and so that pressure it pushes. Even if it's just a small knife wound in the gut, it pushes the intestines out. Okay. And most people, they fight you, and the intestine coming out, they're gonna catch the intestine and forget about fighting you.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless they're very well trained. Yeah. So that most people gut shot that ends that fight. So it's third because as far as in the scheme of things, the reason why that was listed third is it's third by African combatants. And they're dealing with other people with tools. And so they want to take you out of here, right? Not be sitting up there and you leaking and still fight because you are trying.
And really quick, Bob, how much of that blade needs to touch your skin for your guts to come out?
A quarter inch.
Think about that.
A quarter inch. About that much. Yeah, a quarter inch.
And you're leaking.
And you're losing intestines or you're leaking blood. You're dying because you're losing so much blood. Now, some types of blades that we'll deal with, okay? First, we know we got folding knives, and they come in different types. So you got fixed blades, which means when it comes out the sheath, it's just like it is, and you got folding knives. Folding knives, if you watch how, close your folding knife, I want you to see how they open. Now you got some, this has a wave on it. So this, if that is on your clothes, you pull it out your pocket, this catches on your pocket and it starts to open that, you see? So by the time it's pulled out the pocket, it's open.
Oh, man.
So that's how that works. Watch your hand, bring that down. Now this one, show how that one works. You see that one works like mine. She's pressing this, that's not a spring. I'll show you in a second. You press this with your index finger and it comes out. That's the piece that was in the back that I just pressed. It's connected to the knife. You see it? When it goes in, it's connected and you see it come out the back. And so by pressing on that, that pushes the knife up because it's actually part of the knife. They have spring-loaded ones, but if you get a spring load, that spring breaks, now you just got a paperweight.
Exactly.
But this always allows you to pull it out and open it quickly, okay? So that's the folding knife. Folding knives are convenient because they go in your pocket and you can, people just see the clip, you can easily conceal that, okay? The straight blade, it may be a small straight blade, but usually, the straight blade is less concealable. However, the advantage is you pull it out, it's ready to go. You don't have to press nothing. It's ready. It's there. Okay. Now, out of those, you also have, and this is fixed blade as well, right? So in the fixed blade, the most common, there are many types, but you got the drop point, which is that common knife like that. Most knives are like that, the drop point. You also have the tanto blade. okay, which that tonto blade is not like the drop point. You can see the tonto blade, how it's made, and you see the drop point, how it's made, okay? The tonto blade doesn't have that rounded point. This tonto blade is specifically made for combat. It's not made for anything else. Whereas this, I can use to cut meat, not flesh meat. I can see that's a tonto, right? And that's fixed blade. I mean, that's a drop point. This, just like this is drop point, cutting steak and sandwiches. When the bread tells you to make a sandwich, you cut the sandwich. So this can be used for many things. This can be used for cutting open packages. It can be used for whatever it may be, right? Different survival things. So for survival, you need this for many things: to skin animals and things.
And you can carry that and label it a tool. When somebody like, hey man, you can't have that.
This is a tool. I need this to cut wires. I need different things.
But if you got that tonto blade
is purely a combat blade.
You're not gonna be able to convince people that that's your letter opener. Right?
Because exactly. This is made off of the katana and the wakizashi. Okay, those samurai swords, the wakizashi is the shorter one, the katana is the long one, and it's made off of that style. It's purely made for cutting. Now, this is great for slashing. It's okay for thrust. This is absolutely incredible for slashing, and it's not as great as tonto for thrust, but you can thrust with the drop point. Okay, but it is great for slashing. When you get a tool, find one that you like. You may like them heavier. You may like them lighter. Don't get them too. This is light. For me, this may be perfect for some folks, but for me, it's light. I like a heavier tool. This is my tool. I carry it, but this is what I really like, something heavy like that. So it cuts to the bone, and you'll see in a minute. This I like too. This is a nice heavy one.
Base. Base.
Okay. So those are the main type. Oh, and then the karambit. That's the third major type. The karambit is made like an animal's talon. Okay. Now, usually, there's a story that says the Akan traded with the Indonesians. Yes, we traveled. We traveled for the white man, gave us a ship. I mean, come on, man. The white man came with a ship. We were in a bad way. We ended up on the ship. But not as, having a vacation. We end up as captives, right? But we had our own ships. So the story is we wanted their cloth. They gave us the cloth, and we took their cloth and took it beyond what they could do with it and created kente cloth. And we gave them this knife that allows them, the curve allows them to cut, because if I'm cutting with a straight tool, I have to bend my wrist to cut through like plants and things of that nature. Sure. And through flesh.
Who did we give it to? Who was it?
Indonesians.
Oh, okay.
So we're cutting through, but this, we had curved blades that allowed us, we didn't have to bend our wrist. It cut through because it's bent. Genius, right? And then they used their genius from their culture and they added a ring to it. And then that allows them to hit with this. Now, this is light. Jesus Christ, that's light. I need my own. But that's that. So it allows them to impact, boom, hit you in the head with that, bring it back to cut. Or if it's double edged, to cut you with that, bring it back. I can flip this thing, play around. I ain't gonna play around with this one. This one's so light. I'm scared of it. But I told you I like heavier blades. This will fly right out of my hand. And it'll hit you right there. And I accidentally hit you right there. Now I'm just talking. So
it's really considerable too.
It's very, but this is considered a talon. So they'll tell you that, but no animal's talon goes upwards. This is how you know no animal's talon goes like that. This is how you know that if you stick to the truth of it, it originally was like this. That's how animals' talons are. And so you cut in this way, right? That's how talons originally were. And this is how this originally was held. But when they did this allowed them all kinds of manipulations with it. And they don't drop the tool. And for people who are martial artists who say, well, see, like that, they can just lock your finger like that. Yeah. If I'm holding this, you gonna grab my hand to lock my finger?
Try that technique.
Yeah, try that. Don't be stupid. That's not gonna work. Where you're just gonna just take that, and you're gonna open my fingers all that way. I'm just standing and letting you do that, and I'm not cutting the hell out you. Come on now, stop.
Hashtag stop saying stupid shit.
Also, this lets you be intuitive, so you can box, throw any of the punches you would throw if you're throwing this way, right? And it's sticking the person before your fist gets to them, so that's very useful as well. Okay, that's the karambit. Love the karambit. Shout out to Ambulancia, who he's a master of Filipino and Indonesian martial arts, and he taught us karambit. Students that they want to learn karambit, I've taught them the knife many times, but I'm not going to BS you and be like, hey, yeah, sure I showed the karambit. I would, they'd have been messed up. Me too. So I brought in Ambulancia, who had been coming to our workshops, and I asked him, hey, would you teach this workshop for us? And he said, of course. And so he taught us all how to use the karambit.
Time for him to come on back through for me.
I talked to him, and he's going to be coming to our next workshop and stuff like that. But we need to bring him in to teach another class on karate.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, and he's going to be one of the people when we do the warrior class tour.
Definitely.
He's going to be one of the people with us on the warrior class tour, teaching karambit and probably some other things, some cloth, throws and things that everybody got cloth on them or whatever. Okay. So now we've gotten to the three main types. There's other types, but that's drop point. Okay, that's tanto, and that's karambit. All right. And everybody nowadays is learning on all of those types of knives, just so you know. Ways to hold the knife. Two ways: standard grip, which is like you hold a hammer or something. The knife is coming out of your thumb side. Okay, standard grip. The other way, reverse grip, is coming out your baby finger side. See? Right. It's coming out the baby finger side. That's hammer. That's reverse grip. Excuse me. So that's the reverse grip. This grip, people used to say all kinds of ignorant stuff. They would say, yeah, this is special what? Lie. And they would also say, this is the most effective way to use a knife. Lie. It's a way to use a knife, not the most effective. In fact, this mainly hooks. It allows you to cut short. Okay? So you're in short with this knife. But a tool is an extension of your body, your arm, or whatever your delivery system is. It's an extension of it. This is an extension. Okay? This is not an extension of my arm. Unless I'm, hitting this way with a hammer fist or something. Okay? It's not an extension of my arm. This is. So, that's not true about it being an extension of the arm when it's held in reverse grip. That's not true. That's not what it's for. It allows you to use these stronger stabs like that.
You lose your reach.
And you lose your reach, but you feel like you're more in control because it's short. Okay?
It looks cool like the movie.
And it looks cool, right, because the movies told us. Mm-hmm. Because if you never saw it in the movie, you never even thought to be grabbing a knife like that, to be honest.
The Hunted?
Okay.
Is that what it was?
The Hunted is one, many like that. John Wick.
The Walking Dead last week.
But it was an excellent knife fight. The hunter, they had a really
They did.
that made you think that was the way. You didn't know.
Right. This forces you to use your hand in there. Your hand in the middle of a knife engagement is in a lot of danger. So also, when you hold it, so we're going to deal with this way. Always, your hand is always behind that tool. If I cut a person and I have to move them with my hand too, I don't catch and then hit with this knife. I can hit my own hand. I hit with the knife first, then my hand comes. Flesh, metal always meets meat. Metal to meat. Not flesh or meat to meat and then the metal. No. Metal to meat, then meat to meat. You got me? Metal first, then flesh. Not flesh, then metal. You can see where that mistake can cost you. And they'll take your finger off. Or worse. Okay. You start off winning, they don't even have a tool. You grab it, then you hit, and you hit your own finger. You just lost that engagement.
Defeat yourself.
Right. You just might as well tell people he cut you or she cut you because that's going to be embarrassing to say you cut your own job off.
Very embarrassing. Very embarrassing.
Now, the way to properly hold, don't hold this in your palm. I hear people saying no. And they'll say, see, I need some so it doesn't get pushed out. Yeah, it'll get pushed up because you're not holding it right. If you hold this, so these lines here in your finger, in that first bend like that, these lines is where this knife goes. You put that in here, and then usually you have some kind of thing poking out right there. That should be right between these fingers here. Okay, in that little space. Now I got the finger. Now if I'm holding it like that, I don't need to use my thumb. It's not going to come out. It's not going to come out because my fingers, my 4 fingers, are stronger than my one thumb. Number one, but I'm also holding this in the proper place so I don't worry about losing my tool. I hold it there and then I wrap my thumb over for extra security, and then I also know where I'm hitting. I run these knuckles. These knuckles aim at your flesh. That means the knife is right there. It's going to cut you. Okay? I know I got you. I ain't messing with that because I know how to use these just to rub them across your skin like that. I'm not going to miss. Even if I got my eyes closed, I know I can do that. And I can rub this knife across you. Okay? So that's how you hold that tool. Your wrists are locked in place until you cut. When you cut, I'm going on a palm up cut. My baby finger moves towards my forearm. So I extend my cut into the person. When I cut palm down, my baby finger once again moves towards my forearm. So it extends that tool. If I don't, it just cuts like that. I'm not cutting all the way through. I want to cut through. Okay. I want to cut with the tip to the beginning of the circle on a drop point. The beginning of that, not circle, but half circle, whatever, on a drop point, the curve. That's why I want to cut at the beginning of that up to the tip. I don't want to cut in the middle if I can help it.
So let me see that.
Okay.
Right up in there.
Where your hand's behind it, but let me use the knife. Move your hand. So it's from here, the tip, to about right there. Where that curve kind of begin. Well, yeah, middle of the curve.
Have you ever been in the kitchen? If you had in the kitchen with a knife, you know what he's talking about because that's how you want to.
Right.
Where you're cutting the end, and that's that 90 degrees.
And yes. And when you're cutting, you can train by drawing the line like that, but you really want to cut. You want to cut, withdraw. Cut, withdraw. And you'll see it in a minute. Cut, withdraw that to yourself. Cut, withdraw. My hand stays behind it, okay? If I'm using the Tonto blade, this may be your cutting surface. It's usually your stabbing surface. This is your cutting surface on this tanto blade, it's usually here to about here. This, because the oddness of the cut, this is really for stabbing. This helps with the thrusting up. Okay. So you want to cut from the beginning of here to here. Here to here. Depends on the knife, you'll know. With the karambit, you're cutting from the tip to about right here. It's not nearly as much, maybe here. Okay? Just so you know. You don't need a lot because it's going to open you. It's sharp. It's going to open you up. It's going to open your opponent up, not you. It's going to open your opponent up, okay? So you don't need a lot. If you use a lot, it's going to carry a lot more weight, but it's not going to cut as keenly in there usually, okay? So just so you know that. But if you got to use the middle of the knife, hell, you use the middle of the knife, okay? All right. So we're about to go and cut. I showed you how to hold it. If you're going to use this at home, Cody Whiteman is going to work with us right now. You know, the guest, Cody Whiteman, he's been missing for a while. He's going to lend us some flesh. So we're going to do some cuts on Cody right now. We're going to do several. So angles we'll talk about. Let me talk about those now as we stand up. So angle 2, 3, 4, 5, and 8. Remember I said that 2, 3, 4, 5, and 8. That's how we're going to be cutting. And that's the angles I'm about to show you now. We're going to go over to our flight cam. Let me bring the flight cam up. Flight cam is up. And now let me give the flight cam center stage. Now, coming your way with the knife. I use a training knife for this part. So I'm using angles. Our angle, we have 15. Okay. There are only 15 angles that a person can cut you with. And different arts have stuff 12, 6, 8, whatever, right? Yeah, 15 angles. That's it that a person can cut you at. Okay. But there are main ones that I use. Okay. So angle. And I'll go through the 15 real quick, and then I'll show you the main. So I won't do the footwork with it, so it's not that confusing. But 1 is straight down. 2, forehand diagonal. 3, backhand diagonal. 4 is horizontal, palm up. 5, horizontal, palm down. 6, forehand upward diagonal. 7, forehand, backhand upward diagonal. 8, straight thrust. 9, inverted thrust. 10, inverted thrust back the hand towards me. Okay. 11, 12. That's a hat. 13, 14, 15. And our cuts, I can do a 1 to your head, I can do a 1 to your arm, I can do a 1 to your foot. The angle is what we're talking about. The levels are different. So I can do all those angles at different levels. The most common cuts, you probably figured out. The most common cuts are angle 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 8. Stick. right? Some people go up that way, but usually in the United States, it's not, these aren't the most common cuts. These are the most common cuts.
It looks kind of.
Okay? Those are the most common. Right? It's angle 2, which is that forehand downward diagonal. Angle 3, backhand downward diagonal. Angle 4, that's the palm up, horizontal. Angle 5, palm down, horizontal. Angle 8 is the standard thrust. Those are the most common. Okay? And combatively, remember you're cutting and then withdrawing. It's 2, 3, 4, 5, 8. Okay? So now we're going to work those 2, 3, 4, 5, and 8 on coding. And we're going to do them with the 3 main types. With the drop point, with the karambit, and with the tanto blade. And we will give our findings. You will see what the findings are, what's the most effective, and what we learned from it. And we want you to share what you've learned. So I'm not going to be the first to cut. I've done this so many times. Somebody else going to cut. Who's going to be the first up? All right. Which blade are you going to use? You're going to use.
I'm going to use my son.
Okay. So we're going to use the tanto blade. Where are you going to cut to? Number 2 cut. Number 2 cut.
Yeah, I'll do it too.
Which one? Where you going to hit him? Here, 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 there.
I'm going to surprise myself.
All right. So let's move this out the way. Yeah. Move back so nobody else gets a number 2 also. And
got the tape. Oh no, you could go too. Let's do close up and look.
okay, so now this is pork to the gross, but it got through the cloth. The cloth is thick.
Very thick.
It just grazed them right there.
Y'all see how thick the cloth is wrapped in, so you see how thick that is.
And it cut them still.
Still cut through there, you still see the cut, so the skin get cut still.
Okay, so now,
Can I cut again?
sure.
You wanna,
This tape thing ain't working too good.
you want to be
Got
the
to read.
recorder? I can take you. You want me to take that back up when you hold this, or you want me to just hold?
Let's see, let me tape it up. Where's the tape?
Okay, got the key right here. Oh, there we go, right there. I'm gonna take Cody back up. That's a
There's no more. There's nothing on there.
That's like a half an inch cut right there if you look at it. Oh, I'll do the tape. So I'll put the tape back on. That's pretty thick cut for getting through that cloth like that.
Yeah. And so you got it. Even the person got on the coat. That's why I folded them thick. Even if they got a coat on or something, they can get through that.
It's her first flesh cutting.
It is.
Right.
I'm addicted already.
Ah! So we're gonna cut again.
She's deploying and then cutting, just in case you.
And now that was a number 3.
This should have been up here.
Yes, should have came back. Now that it went through here and it still cut the flesh too. Here it didn't. So that's that end when you hit through with more power, right? Let me get in here real quick, Belay. That's the tanto blade. I'm gonna use this blade. I go to its throat. Okay? Remember, you're only using this. So let's see if this gets through. Let's see. Ooh, Gosh. I didn't even hit it hard. See, it went all the way through there.
That was,
and still got it.
and that was minimum effort right there.
Right, I didn't use a lot of effort.
Draw back, minimum effort. Again, I just want to show y'all how thick that is right there. That is really thick cotton right there. He wrapped and folded that in there. So that's like an inch thick of cotton right there too, and still got through that. We didn't sharpen these blades or anything before this, just so y'all know.
And also we talked about, Baba said that the quarter inch is what would have them leaking, what would have
Right.
These are all longer than quarter inch cuts.
Now here, I don't know if this will go through with an 8. Let me see here.
You mean as far as going all the way through?
Yeah, with
You want to try the contour, Baba?
I think that's better at stabbing than the tonto is. Right?
I mean, I would go through it because, it's my knife, but I use tonto. Make sure you hold it right so you don't drop the knife. Woo! I want to stick Cody.
It went through very fast.
It did. I want
I appreciate you, Bob, for not
to. Now that one I can't tell.
because it's a stab, so you really. Yeah.
Right, so I do it this way.
Oh, yeah, you can hear it.
Right, it's small, but it went all the way through the back.
It don't
To the
take
back.
much.
So that went just a quick grab and it popped right there.
All the way through. That's a long
Yeah.
way through right there. Yeah. That's a blow.
And all I did was grab, stick.
Use some counter pressure.
I didn't pull back and hit or anything like that, just so you know. Can I use this? Maybe wipe
Yes,
it
no,
over.
no, I haven't used it yet.
Okay. Make sure ain't no corona on. Ah.
Sure, I can't just clear. It just took a lot. This is so thick right there. Man.
Yeah, that's thick. Let me hit that again. That's your tonto blade.
Focus on something.
Here, I'm gonna go. Let me see. We did horizontal cut. That's easy for here. Here, I would still do that backhand. That top of the backhand. Number 3. Watch out. Make sure you don't. I didn't get through on that one. I didn't get through on that one.
This would be the equivalent to a thick winter coat too.
This would definitely be. Ooh, got it. Ooh.
Oh, that is deep. And that was not
Remember all that cloth? It's like 3, 4 more layers of cloth.
Yeah, I'm showing how thick
And it
that
went
cloth
all the
is.
way into that flesh.
And that's deep into that's.
And just so you know that this meat is half frozen.
That's another thing too. So you got the cloth wrapped up a half an inch thick. You got pork jewels frozen. So that's way thicker than our skin. You know how thick pig skin is. So that's
Gross.
way thicker.
I said it's gross, not the cut. Gross that I got pork on my hand. But anyway, you got alcohol here too, so we can clean these blades up. Right?
I do, sir.
Thank God, thank God. All right.
I think I'm going to
And then I'm gonna let you get in there in a minute, B-Lay. I want the steak knife.
see what the steak knife gonna do. Well, we gonna be.
This be for stabbing. Now, if it cuts, I'll be shocked.
I don't think that thing gonna cut it off.
Let's see. No shit, it almost bent. It cut though.
Wow, a steak knife, just a steak.
Wow.
A steak knife. A
Kitchen knife, yeah.
Whoa, that's a cut. Look, that's in there.
Yeah, it's in there. Cut the flesh.
It's longer than a
Wow. So think about this. You in the summertime, you just got your arm out there. You get hit with your arm, get hit with a steak knife, you out of there.
But cutting hamburgers,
Yeah.
starting shitty.
Boy, you better stay out of Popeyes talking crazy.
So that was that. I mean,
Wow.
so that's a little kitchen knife. It got handle this business, okay? That's the kitchen knife. All right, B-Lay, it's on you.
All right. right, so
make sure you got them on there.
I'm gonna try my karambit here.
All right, cool. All right,
so
which one you gonna hit?
So I think with my karambit, the easiest, I could come across this hand right here, or maybe this way.
You're a lefty, or you could come backhand across that base right there.
Boom right there. I was trying to get somebody else that look. Now, this is different because I never tried using my karambit across the face like this. So let's see what we got. So from here, just gonna come across. Woo! Let's see what we got here.
Ooh, it got it too. Let's see.
It didn't make it all the way through though. Look like puncture right here. Just a little bit, but not all the way through.
Yeah, it didn't go all the way through.
That was your, but you ain't
That's
gonna
the
have
way
no,
it is.
you ain't gonna have no cotton on your face though.
So take it down that way.
Take this way, see what we got.
Yeah.
That's my favorite one coming around like that. So from here we just go.
Whoa!
Whoa! So that's another thing. If it would have been stationary, I'm sure it would have cut pretty deep. But the fact that it
I don't know where it hit at. I think here.
because it flew off.
It flew off, yeah.
All right, we're gonna try another fixed position, I guess. We're gonna take him back up. I'm just coming across the hand right here and see what we can come across right there. So boom, delivery system. There we go.
Sorry.
Okay. Just a little poke.
I dropped the broadcast.
So the karambit is not cutting as deep as the straight blades. But if you take the karambit like this, let's see.
We're not on.
So
It's kind of hard to see, but
hold on, let me get back in on warrior class.
I guess we can pay back for knocking somebody else off.
Right.
I was gonna say at least I didn't erase it.
Let's see. How do I get us back in there? Here. All right. Technical difficulties there. Belay hit so hard it knocked the camera out of Ominiki's hand.
We're back.
So, but we back in.
My bad, family.
Now we're going to go back to fight cam. There's no image there.
Sam, we lost the connection. Let's get some connection going back. I'll look there.
Once we get the connection back, we'll be back at Cody Whiteman.
Just 1 second here. And here. We don't need another. There we go. Enter in studio.
We might need some more tape because the tape's catching a lot of damage too.
Yeah, I think I got some else.
You see how we're going through that flesh? It has 2 fight cams up for some reason. Let me remove that one. And let me add this one to the stream.
There we go.
Turn that up.
Gotcha. Here we go.
Okay. So now
Take this up.
we go back to Cody Whiteman. Same back time, same back channel. Here we go.
We're gonna put some tape up on it. Tape them out a little bit more.
So what I was about to say is the karambit. We see the underhand way that is popular now. It cuts, but not as deeply as that straight blade.
Mm-hmm,
Okay, but if I hold it like the talon,
African way.
see, right, the African way. I hate to say it like that, but hey, it's just the truth. I hold it like the African way. Let's see what happens with the cut. Actually, you see, and actually you see, Belay, because you the one cutting the karate.
Right. I'm interested. I was expecting more than that. Let's see what we got here.
All right, so now, there you go.
Thank you, sir. Step up in here.
Now let's see.
So this way, if if I came across. So that would be more of a number 3 or like number 2 or 2 couldn't, but more of a number 3. More of a number 3 for this, or number
2 or 3, whichever one you come. You're lefty, so whichever one you're more comfortable with.
So yeah, for me, I think I might 3 this. So here, right there.
Yeah, I see. That's deeper when you hold it that way.
Yeah, I don't know how to see that, but I'm trying not to touch this pork as much as I can. But we
You
went.
got him.
Yep, got him through there. I don't know what you're gonna have half an inch of cotton around your neck, but if you don't, you're in trouble.
Right.
And this is the shortest blade of all the ones that we got too.
Right. It's short and it's light.
So we wanna
Now,
you get that?
well, if we hold it this way and you punch, this one needs to go up again too. But if you punch into it, right? So I'm getting ready to punch there. And do a couple of horizontal cuts.
Take it to the sternum.
I think we're on 5% with that camera, so let's get that done quick.
There we go. Good.
So from here, if I'm punching, I know that's gonna get it. Right? See? So it's cutting through the tape, it's cutting through there. That all the way in there. And that made deep holes in there. See that hole? That's deep. It's like
down deep in there.
right. If you see the knife, and I'll show you how deep it went in. See it? It's right there. See the top?
We just lost our camera eye. He died on us.
All right. So now we got to immediately go back to this one.
And they still can hear us, but we'll put these cuts in the core curriculum for y'all to see, so you can check them out in there.
So fight cam, I don't know why fight cam is pause or warrior. We got to go to here.
Yeah, put that on the big. So yeah, what we'll do is core curriculum. We'll put these cuts in there. Bro, you want to do that for them?
Well, we could, or we could show them now. Just if you hold this up,
Okay.
I just want y'all to see. And I'll punch again.